Get ready for 5 adorable and easy Easter crafts. For the first craft, we're making a jelly bean bowl. I created a silicone mold out of 2 nesting bowls, and I filled it with just regular jelly beans. I mixed some resin and poured it into the bowl. I tossed the jelly beans just to make sure they were completely covered with resin. And you don't want to miss any of them, so you want them completely encased in the resin. So take your time mixing them and then start putting them along the edge of the bowl. You're kind of stacking them. Once I had it the way I wanted it, I grabbed my insert, I filled it with rice, and the rice is just to put some weight on there and kind of have it keep its shape. I let it cure for a minimum of 12 hours, at which time I removed the insert, put that to the side, then I removed the jelly bean bowl from the mold, and look at those colors. Look how pretty that is. And what a fun bowl to have. You can use it for Easter for sure, but you can absolutely just have it to put your keys in, your change. It would even be a fun little jewelry bowl to have on your nightstand or on your vanity. Let me know what you think about that one. We're going to move on to number 2. The second Easter craft is an Easter egg wreath. I found a large straw wreath at the craft store, and then I ordered a bunch of eggs, and I had 2 different sizes and different colors. All I did is I started to hot glue them into place, and I tried to be as random as I could with their placements so I wouldn't have a bunch of the same colors all bunched up. I started with the blue, and then you kind of have to hold it in place for a while that hot glue cools, and then I moved on to the yellows. So you just place them every which way. I even used a water bottle to kind of hold them in place while I was doing it. And next thing you know, you're going to have it full. However, notice that there are some gaps in between, which I really didn't like. So I added some grass, like the little Easter grass that you would put in baskets. And I put that in between, added it with the hot glue. Remember that hot glue is hot. So I took some scissors to kind of push it down, the grass down in between with the hot glue so I would not burn my fingers. And then I just took some scissors and trimmed it down so it didn't look quite as crazy shaggy. And now it's really starting to take shape. This is where I added the smaller eggs to kind of fill in the gaps a little bit here and there. And I think it looks pretty great. And then you could take just any kind of a pastel ribbon, like a satin ribbon. I tied this pink and white polka dotted one on there. And then I created a bow and tied it up, and that's how I ended up hanging it. And it's just so pretty. And it's just so pretty with the pastels. And I like to just kind of hot glue the bow in place because a lot of times it get a little bit twisted and turned around. So this will keep that from happening. It looks pretty cute. And then all I did is I took it outside and I hung it up. And I think it looks pretty great out there. And on to the next one. Now we are going to do the Easter Bunny house, where I created an Easter Bunny house out of resin. The very first thing I did is I painted it. I used regular acrylic paint. I did a couple coats, and then I just followed it up with a white coat. And then I mixed my resin and I tinted it white, and then I poured it into the different parts. Now, for the windows, you want to do a clear coat, so you want to make sure when you are pouring that white, you don't go too high because you want to have clear windows. So once I took all of the pieces out of the mold, all I had to do was put them together, and I used a combination of E6000 and hot glue. The E6000 takes a little while to cure, so I have the hot glue in place kind of holding it together while that E6000 is curing, and then I don't have to sit there and hold it. And then I moved on and made this cute little wreath, a little Easter egg wreath out of wire and these little plastic Easter eggs. Added a bow, put it on the front door, and then once I had it all together, I had a little wood platter that I put it on, and I painted little wood discs that are going to work as a walkway, and I had a little wood fence that I bought at the craft store. Once I had those pieces together, I decided to use some just school glue, Elmer school glue, and some green sand. And I got all of that at the craft store also, and I just spread it around so it looks like the grass, the green grass in a yard. And then while that was still wet, I placed the little wood discs that look like those little Necco wafers, like candy Necco wafers. I put those down on the front yard as the walkway. I put little fake flowers as bushes, and I found all these little eggs and some flower picks that I put as trees. They look like spring trees, and little bushes by the front door. I added a chick, some Easter bunnies, some little signs. I painted I painted curtains on the inside, so it looks like it has little pink curtains. I decorated with some more of the little eggs along the trim of the roof, added a flicker light in there, battery operated flicker light, and it is just a super cute decoration to have and to put out during Easter. I bring it out every year and I still love it. Let's move on to the next Easter craft. We're going to do large string Easter eggs. So all you need is a balloon and some embroidery floss. They come in great colors. Get them in pastel colors. And I have some starch, liquid starch, which I put into a plastic bowl, and I carefully unwound my embroidery floss. And that's kind of a super important trick, because if you don't do that, it might get all tangled and it's really tough to kind of unwind it once you got that starch on there. So all I did is wind different colors around the balloon, and you could go as big or small as you want for these. I went kind of larger. In hindsight, maybe I would have added more. I do like them the way they are, but I might have added more string if I were to do it again. But they're big and they're pretty sturdy. If you're a little worried about it, you can add another spray varnish to it or something just to give it a little more strength. Once the starch dries, all you have to do is pop the balloons and pull them out. Carefully pull them out. But they look great just put out on a table or a countertop, hanging. I hung them from the chandelier in our foyer, but they're so easy to do, and the kids would love to get involved with that one. They're big, they're beautiful, and they are so lightweight so that you can really hang them from anything. It's not going to be real heavy, weighing anything down. Just remember, if you want to put them outside, you're going to want to use some kind of an outdoor finish. On to the next project. This one, we're going to make a couple of really cute, easy chick Easter decorations. All I have are some paper mache eggs that I bought at the craft store, ready made, and I painted them yellow, a nice bright yellow. And then I took a couple Google eyes and I glued them right onto the chicks, and I did some golf tees that I painted orange, which are perfect for their legs. And all I did is add a little hot glue and placed them on there, and it looks like they're sitting down and their little legs are out to the front. So then I had to finish them off, and I had some orange paper that I just, some cardstock paper, I glued that on for their beak, added a little glitter, and I did the same with their wings. All I did was hot glue some feathers on there, added a little glitter. You could do that with paper if you didn't want to do feathers, and now they are just this adorable pair. They have a little glitter, they're definitely whimsical. Kids can definitely do this one. If you want more information on any of these projects, and I have so many others, go check out craftclatch.com.